Frank at Bottomline Ministries, debt free. I hope that you're having a good week. You know, it's been a beautiful week here in the Great Northwest. And we went to a place with some friends, some really dear friends. And it was really a great time. You know, it's good to have people in your life that have the same vision or the same beliefs as you do. And these friends are Christians. They're strong believers in their faith in God. But they're just really, really good people. And so we went up to a place called Hurricane Ridge. It's up in the mountains, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to post some pictures on my Facebook page of our trip up to Hurricane Ridge. But as my friend and I as we were driving up with our wives, and, you know, the guys were having their conversation, the ladies were having their conversations. But my friend brought up the subject of vision. Of vision. What do you see? You know, the Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And one of the things we were talking about is that all creation, everything that's been created, came from somebody seeing something in the spiritual realm that had not yet been created. Just stop to think about things. That table you're sitting at, many, many years ago, they didn't have tables like that. Somebody had a vision, and they turned that vision into reality. Think about the car that you drive. I remember the first time I got a car, and it had electric windows, and I thought, man, I got electric windows. If my dad saw me right now, he'd probably smack me and say, boy, you can't be that lazy that you can't roll up your own windows. But some kids don't even know what a car is that doesn't have electric windows. Think about it. Right now, we got a GPS in the car. And so it's one of the things my friend and I were talking about, because we were trying to find where we were going to go, and his wife was reading the map, and we were just using that as we were going. And I said, what would we do without GPS? I remember the days where you had to remember just about everything of where you were going if you've been there before. But now, all you just call up Siri and say, give it Siri an address, or tell her where you want to go, and she'll guide you and turn left here, turn right here, turn left at the next light, make a U-turn, whatever you need. Somebody had that vision to say, you know, it'd be great if we could get this car to respond to the driver and tell them where they want to go. So, vision. I heard it once said, the amount of money you make in life, it is determined about how many problems you can solve for other people. I'll repeat that again. The amount of money you make in life is determined by how many problems you can solve for someone else. You see, on your job, do you sit around and complain about how hard it is to do your job? Or do you see another way that it can be done better? And do you bring that vision? Do you have the courage to bring that vision to your upper management, your supervisor, your manager, your boss, your owner? Because when you can show them a way that you can make their process easier and more effective, you're going to get promoted. And when you get promoted, you usually get an increase in salary. Stop to think about it. I'm going to just use one example, Amazon. Amazon started off as a bookstore where you would go on and order books, and they would ship it to your house. But somebody came up with the idea that, you know what? We can ship other things to people, and we can do it faster than anybody else. And now, literally millions of people use Amazon. You just go on there and you pick out what you want. You hit the button, and 2 days or 3 days later, and if you have Prime, it could be the next day. It shows up at your house. Who would have thought that 30 years ago? You used to have to get into your car, drive down to the mall or your local shopping center, get out of your car, park it, get out, walk around the store, look, hope that you can find what you want. But today you can do it at a click of a button. My question to you this evening is, what dream has God given you that you're holding on to? That you're not exercising the courage to take it to the next level? How many problems can you solve? Will you be the next millionaire? Will you be the next billionaire? Come on, Frank. Oh, really? Oh, I can't see that. Because you can't see it is the biggest problem. You will never have what you don't see yourself having. I'll say that again. You will never have what you don't see yourself having. Well, come, Frank, you can't say that because I have great faith. Really? You have great faith. I'm glad you said that. Because the way you can tell if a person has great faith is they act on what they see. Because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That idea you have in your mind, that idea that God has placed in your heart. Can you come up with a plan, a working plan to put it into action? You see, first you must have a goal. You have a vision, you turn that vision into a goal. How can I get this on the marketplace? How can I present this to my supervisor? How can I change this into a monetary gain? How can I get people to use my product? Those are the questions. And then you come up with the hows. That's the plan. Goals is what changes dreams into reality. Goals is what changes dreams to reality. If you don't have a goal, but you have a vision of something you think will be really great, and you have no goal, you have no plan of action to get it there, you become a part of the I'm going to club. One day I'm going to this. One day I'm going to that. One day I'm going to do the other thing. And most of those people leave this earth still going to do it. Why? Because they never had any goals or plan of action. So tonight, I'm just challenging you to bring out that dream. Think of what can you do to serve, to make other people's lives better. And in turn, you will make your own life better. For faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And if God be for you, who can be against you? Well, Frank, I really don't know God. You can settle that with a simple prayer, just asking Jesus Christ to come into your life. Just say, I'm a sinner. I believe that you died for me on the cross. And on the third day you rose again. And you will return and split that eastern sky. Forgive me for my sins. I want you to come and rule in my life forever. That solves that right there. Now, I've taken care of that. All you have to do next is get busy with the plan that God has placed in your heart. That's all I have for you this evening. This is Frank at Bottomline Ministries, Debt Free, and reminding you, debt is not your destiny. For he who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. I'll see you next week. Have a great evening.